Hello everyone, welcome to our class. We are discussing the chapter Biodiversity and its conservation. The occurrence of different types of genes, gene pools, species, habitats and ecosystem in a particular place and various parts of our earth. That is known as biodiversity. The term biodiversity was first given by Edward Wilson. According to biodiversity, there are three levels: genetic diversity, species diversity and the ecological diversity. Then how many species are there on earth and how many in India? That's a question. Between 1.7 to 1.8 million species are present. Okay, according to Robert May, he provided a conservative scientific estimate of 7 million varieties species globally. And according to IUCN, IUCN stands for International Union for Conservation for Nature and Natural Resources. Okay, on their opinion, on 2004, the total number of plant and animal species is about 1.5 million. And India's biodiversity was world's 2.4%. And India is the one of the 12 megadiversity countries. Then this is the picture that's in your textbook. So it indicates that the number of organism. Okay, you can see here is the invertebrate and here vertebrate and here the plant groups. So in this majority of organism, that is insects, and other animal group belong to the next level. Then the next one is molluscus, then the least one is crustaceans. So this is about invertebrata group, and we are considering the organisms in the vertebrata group. Majority of the organism, that means half of the organism, belong into the group fishes. Okay, and then amphibians and the mammals sharing the equal amount. Then the birds, first fishes, then the birds. Okay, birds and reptiles may be share equal parts may be there sharing. Then we are considering the plants. So in this plant group, fungi possess the majority and the angiosperms are near to the fungi. Then the algae, then the mosses, then the ferns and the allies, then the lichens. So this is about plants. This is your textbook picture. So study this picture very well and understand the features in this structure very well. Next is patterns of biodiversity. Patterns of biodiversity. So biodiversity is not uniform throughout the world because it is affected by two factors. The one is latitudinal gradients and the other one is species area relationship. Okay, so latitudinal gradients and the species area relationship which affect the patterns of the biodiversity. Biodiversity increases from poles to equator and from the high to the low latitude. Then the tropics have more species than the temperate or the polar region. Tropic regions have more species than the temperate or the polar regions. For example, Colombia, located near the equator, has 1,400 species of birds. Okay, while in New York has 105 species and the Greenland has 56 species. That indicate that the Greenland and the New York are near to the they are far from the equator portion and the Colombia is in equator portion. That's why the number of organisms getting increases in this Colombia portion. Okay. Then the tropical rainforest of Amazon in South America possesses the greatest biodiversity on earth. Amazon rainforest is known as the lungs of the planet. Amazon rainforest is known as the lungs of the planet. It is very important. Tropical rainforest of Amazon in South America possesses the greatest biodiversity on earth. So Amazon in South America. Okay. So they are having 40,000 species of plants and 3,000 of fishes and 1,300 birds and 427 of mammals and the 427 of amphibians and 378 of reptiles and more than 1 lakh invertebrates are seen. Okay, so the greater biological diversity is observed in tropics area because the temperate region have been subjected to frequent glaciation മഞ്ഞുരുക in the past, but tropical regions remain undisturbed. Okay, therefore the tropics had a longer evolutionary time for the species diversification. Then the next is temperate environment. Unlike the tropics are more seasonal, less constant, unpredictable, and resulting in less niche. Niche means the organism, where the organisms is occupying, that is known as niche. N-I-C-H-E, niche. The tropics have greater solar energy exposure, which contributes high productivity. Tropic area having the great solar energy and exposure, and it produces high productivity. Okay, next is why question is that why there is greater biodiversity in the tropic and the temperate region. Here is the answer. Temperate regions have been frequently subjected to glaciation. Tropical environment is less seasonal, relatively more constant, and the availability of solar radiation, and it contribute higher productivity. Then the second one, which determine the patterns of biodiversity, that is species area relationship. A German naturalist and the geographer Alexander von Humboldt observed that within a region, species richness increased with increasing explored area, but up to a limit. The relationship between the species richness and the area for a wide variety of taxa appears as a rectangular hyperbola. They appear as the species area relationship. When we are making a graph, it forms a rectangular hyperbola, and the equation is log s is equal to log c plus z log a, and the s stands for species richness, a stands for area, and the z stands for slope of the line, and the c stands for y-intercept. The value of the Z lines is a range between 0.1 to 0.2. However, the analysis in very large area, the Z value ranges from 0.6 to 1.2. 0.6 to 1.2. Clear it is. So this is a graph. So here we are plotting species richness, and here we are plotting the area. Okay, and we are getting the hyperbola. Clear it is. The equation is log s is equal to log c plus z log a. S is equal to z a z. C a z. C means y-intercept, a means area, and the z means slope of the line. Okay. Then the next question is importance of species diversity to the ecosystem. Why the species diversity is important to the ecosystem? Why it is important? Okay. The more the species rich in a community, the more stability. If the environment or the community contain more stable, more species is there, the community is more stable. That means they are increasing the productivity. So, according to David Tillman, plots with more species showed less year-to-year variation in the total biomass, and plots with increased diversity shows higher productivity. According to David Tillman. So the ecologists believe that the communities with more species tend to be more stable than those with less species. This was confirmed by David Tillman. Ecologists believe that the communities with more species to be more stable than with the less species, and it is confirmed by David Tillman. Okay. So, according to David Tillman, the plots with more species showed less year-to-year variation. So, the organism have, suppose we are considering a food chain. A food chain, the grass, grasshopper, frog, snake. Okay. So, instead of the grasshopper, the frog eating any another food. Okay. The frog population will be increasing. Okay, on that way. The next is Paul Ehrlich Revert-Popper hypothesis. Paul Ehrlich Revert-Popper hypothesis. This is our next important one. According to the hypothesis, the importance of biodiversity for the survival of species can be explained by the Revert-Popper hypothesis that was proposed by Paul Ehrlich. This hypothesis assumes that an ecosystem to be an aeroplane and the species to be the rivers joining all the parts together. We are considering the aeroplane is an ecosystem. Okay, so all the parts of the aeroplane is each species. Suppose any species is missing from the this portion, what will happen? The aeroplane can't fly. Understood? Paul Ehrlich brings out an hypothesis that is known as Rivett-Popper hypothesis. The hypothesis assumes that the ecosystem to be an aeroplane and the species to the rivets joining all the parts together. If every passenger pops a rivet to make home, it may not affect the flight safety initially, but with the time as more rivets are removed, the plane becomes dangerously weak and fatal to the life of other species. Okay, so in an aeroplane, all the organism, we are considering the ecosystem is an aeroplane. So all the organism goes in a balanced movement. Okay, or all organism goes in a balanced way. Suppose any organism make any movement, what will happen? The proper working of the aeroplane will be affected. That is Rivett-Popper hypothesis. The importance of biodiversity for the survival of species can be explained by the Rivett-Popper hypothesis proposed by Paul Ehrlich. This hypothesis assumes that the ecosystem to be an aeroplane and the species to the rivets joining all the parts together. Clear that is. So this is the importance of species diversity to the ecosystem. So proved by the two scientists David Tillman and the Paul Ehrlich. Okay. The next is causes of biodiversity loss. What are the reasons for the cause or the destruction of the biodiversity? So we are telling that it's an evil quadrant. Mainly 4 is there. That is evil quadrant. So habitat and fragmentation, overexploitation, alien species invention, co-extinction. Habitat and fragmentation. Suppose an organism is living in a particular area. If man-made or through the action of man, we are disturbing the portion, that is habitat and fragmentation. Sometimes the environment, the flood, natural calamities also destroy the habitat. The next is overexploitation. Overexploitation. Then the third one is alien species invention. Then the fourth one is the co-extinction. So here we are detailing studying all the points. The main cause of the biodiversity, that is evil quadrant. Main cause of biodiversity, that is evil quadrant. So first one we are discussing, that is habitat loss and fragmentation. So the destruction of habitat is the primary cause of extinction of the species. The tropical rainforest initially covered 14% of the land surface of it, but now cover only 6% of the land area. The Amazon rainforest, that is known as lungs of the planet, being cut and cleared for cultivation of soya beans and for conservation into grassland for raising beef cattle. Okay, when large-sized habitats are broken or fragmented due to human settlements, building roads, digging of canals, etc., the population of animals requiring the large territories and some animals with migratory habitats declines. Clear? So these are the reasons for the one of the causes, that is habitat and fragmentation, and these are the parts of it. Amazon rainforest is cleared for the cultivation of soya bean and for conservation into grassland for raising beef cattle. Then the large sized habitats are broken or fragmented due to the human settlements, building of roads, digging of canals, etc. Then the population of animals requiring large territories and some animals with migratory habitats declines. Okay. The next is overexploitation. Next one is overexploitation. When biological system is overexploited by the man or the natural resources, it results in the degradation and the extinction of other sources. Okay, so the example for this group is many species like Stella sea cow, passenger pigeon extinct due to our overexploitation. Example, Stella's sea cow and the passenger pigeon. That are the example for the humans overexploitation. Clear? The next one is alien species invention. Alien species invention. So some alien means exotic, outside. So some exotic species when introduced, become invasive and cause harmful impact, resulting in the extinction of the indigenous species. Suppose a new organism is introduced in a particular area, so it will affect the organism which is seen in that particular area. For example, Nile perch, a large predator fish, when introduced in the Lake Victoria in East Africa, caused the extinction of an ecologically unique of cichlid fish in the lake. Okay, when the Nile perch is introduced into the Lake Victoria, it will cause the destruction of the species cichlid fish in lake. So the invasive weeds like Parthenium otherwise known as carrot glass, then the Lantana and Eichhornia otherwise known as water hyacinth, that also causes environmental damage and threat to the native species. We studied in one chapter that the Parthenium, the carrot grass, which causes destruction to the native species. Then the introduction of the African catfish, Clarius garipinus, for aquaculture purpose is posing a threat to the indigenous means native fish of Indian river. For the purpose of their aquaculture, we are introducing the African catfish, okay, Clarius garipinus. In aquaculture, what will happen? Our Indian varieties seen in river will be the destroying. So that is about exotic species invention. The fourth one is co-extinction. Orumiche. When a species become extinct, the plant and the animal species associated with it in an obligatory manner also become extinct. I told you that in live class that the panda depend the bamboo, and the bamboo plant is destructing. What will happen? The panda will not get their food. For example, if both the host fish species become extinct, all those practices exclusively depend on it and it will become extinct. So what is co-extinction means? Co-extinction means in a native habitat, one species is connected to the other in an intricate network. The extinction of one species causes the extinction of the other species, which is associated with it in an obligatory way. The extinction of the parasite when the host is extinct. Suppose when a parasite is seen in our body, the parasites take food from our body. Suppose any happen to our body, what will happen? The parasites also getting destroying. For example, I told you about panda and the bamboo. Clear? So this is the causes of the biodiversity losses. Biodiversity losses mainly classified into 4. That's why it is known as Abel quadrat, habitat and fragmentation, over-exploitation, alien species invention and the co-extinction. I hope all you can understand all these points. So here I am concluding this topic. Thank you.